Hello and welcome to another episode of Ken's Training. Today's training is going to be on tap and die and how to use a tap and die set. This here is a tap and die set. It's pretty old. It's probably like from the 40s. But if you open the inside, this is what they look like, taps and dies. And then, so this is the whole kit right here. Now, it depends on what it is that you're trying to accomplish will determine on which one of these you're going to use. Now, these ones here are called the taps. These ones here are called the dies. Now, let me explain what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to put this electrical outlet in this piece of metal, and I want to do it with this right here, and I need to secure this down with 4 screws. Now the 4 screws that I would like to use is the same screws that an electrical outlet would use right here, right here, and right here. And those screws look like this right here. Now, if you don't know what the size of this thread pattern is, an easy way to figure that out is with this tool right here, which is just a pair of wire cutters. If you look on this side of the wire cutters, and I'm not sure if the camera can pick this up, there's these screws here of different diameters and thread patterns. Well, I already tested mine out, and it fits perfectly into this top one. Also, this can be used if you wanted to shorten this down. You could screw it to the length that you want, and then crimp this together, and you could cut and shorten this screw. I'm not trying to shorten the screw. That's not my goal. I just wanted to identify what the thread pattern was on this exact screw. This screw, the thread pattern is 6/32. So what I want is I want 4 holes in here threaded to 6/32 of an inch that will match with these screws. So that's the goal that I'm after. So I already pulled out the tap, which is for 6/32. You can also confirm that this is the exact tap for 6/32. Or the size that you're working with. If you have the appropriate nut, you can just go ahead and try to thread it in, and it should just thread in pretty comfortably, as this one is, and you should feel the tension on that and so forth. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to drill the first hole. Now, they give you a chart that comes with this that says, okay, if I'm going to deal with 6/32, the drill size is a number 35. Well, when you look at your drill index, a size 35 isn't listed on your index. So that really doesn't make sense. So I went to the internet and just did a drill index search for drill sizes, and a number 35 corresponds to a 7/64. And you also want to confirm that you are dealing with the exact hole that you want by also lining it up like this and verifying that the size that you're dealing with is smaller than the threads, but about the same size as the shaft in the center, or the thickness of the metal in the center. And this one looks like it's going to be just right. And then I'll also take one further precaution, and I'll just do a pilot hole some place else on the metal, just to verify that it's going to be okay. So I'm going to load up my drill with the 7/64 bit, put that on drill mode. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and slam down a hole here, somewhere in the metal that I don't care about, like over here. It's not going to harm me to have an extra hole right here. So let me just throw on a pair of gloves. I got a piece of wood, scrap wood that I'm drilling on top of, and I'll go ahead and throw a hole in here. Okay. And just get a trash barrel near me for the shavings. Now I also like to have a hammer nearby just to flatten that out. Sometimes when you drill, it leaves behind a burr. Now I want to try to be as straight as possible. Okay, that looks good. That should be fine for putting my tap through. So now I want to go ahead and put the tap through. On the tap and die set, the tool that you want to hold that okay, it's this tool right here. I think for the smaller ones you could use this one, and I am dealing with a small one. Let me just pull this out to confirm that. See how that does. I'm not sure if that one will fit in there or not. Yeah, that fits in there nicely. Okay, so because this is such a small one, if it was a little bit larger, you could use this one right here. This is 6/32 is really small. I'm going to put that about in the center, and this is pretty much ready to go. So you're just trying to hold it straight up and down. And if I feel a lot of tension, I'll back off and then proceed again. And I'll back off and proceed again because sometimes the curl of the metal needs to be relieved. So you don't want to just continuously keep going. You can kind of tell by the tension on how it feels. Okay, you can see right there that I've gone in just about halfway. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that back. I'm going to put my screw in there to see how that feels. Alright, so now I want to see how a 6/32 screw feels on that. That actually feels reasonably good. Okay, so now I've got confirmed that I can tap the metal, and I've got the correct drill bit size, and basically all I have to do now is just line up this where I want it, drill my 4 holes, go ahead and tap them the exact same way that you saw me do a test hole, and I will be good to go with this, and that is how you do tap and die. Now if you were going to use the dies, which is this, instead of dealing with a piece of metal, you're going to be dealing with a bolt that you want threaded to go on a specific nut. Then you would use the appropriate die, and the die fits in the tool right here. I actually have one already in here. So I make that 3 set screws in total. They really anchor this thing in there. Okay, there it is. So now, when you want to put the new one on, so there's actually 2 recessions in the steel plus the slit here in the center. Also, the die has a taper to it. When you start the thread pattern, you want the larger opening to go to where the bolt is going to start. They give you this here so that you can kind of put the bolt in and also kind of narrow it down so it stays centered. So if you're going to go in this way, if the bolt is going to come up and go this way for the tapering, you would want to put the larger end facing down this way. If you were just going to do it straight on top like this, then you want the, like here's the larger end right here. I would load this into the tool like this, tighten down my set screws, and just go on top. And as the bolt began to protrude through, I would just keep the amount of tension needed here to try to keep it as straight as possible. And then using the same kind of technique, except instead of going through a flat piece of steel, it's going through some type of a bolt that the threads are just wasted away for some reason or another. So that's how you basically do either the tap or the die, depending upon what steel that you're working with. And that's it. Thank you. Okay, I can now show you the final product that I was trying to achieve. I've got my 4 screws right here that are drill and tapped to the size, which was 8/32. And the reason why I wanted to do it this way instead of using self-tapping sheet metal screws was because I did not want to have a sharp edge here, because where there's going to be electrical conductors connected here, I didn't want anything that could possibly nick or score the insulation of the conductors connected on the hot, the neutral, and the ground. So this is the reason why I specifically wanted to use these particular screws for this application. But this box is nice and secured tightly to this plate, and if I want to, I can just unscrew it, take it out, and it's good to go. So that's the benefit of being able to do drill and tap. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you could do me 2 things. If you liked the video, if you could please hit the like button down below at the bottom of the video on the left-hand side. I'd like to. That would be nice. And also the second item, if you could leave a comment. I love to read the comments that people leave behind, whether they like the video or didn't like the video, or if they need some help or anything like that. The videos that I create are generally created for the people who work in commercial office buildings in the maintenance department, people that specialize in mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, although we do touch other things like roofing and other trades, drywall, painting, and so forth. But if you have any questions or anything like that, I also would like to share with you my website that I have, which is at kencogliano@wix.com/Ken Training. I am going to provide a link at the end of this segment, so this way if you want to click on that, you can go directly to my website. You can also check out all my videos there, as well as there's a section that you can send me a personal email if you wanted to discuss something that you're working on or anything like that. Thanks again, and I hope you have enjoyed the video that you were watching.